Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loreweek. For all the week that's fit to lore. Still working on the catchphrase there. What's up, guys? I'm not going to wait for anyone. We're just going to get going. Let's go ahead and discuss some little stuff really quick. We're just going to kind of rapid fire through a bunch of these here. So, first of all, what the heck? Hang on just a second. Put this here. There we go. Okay, so, first of all, as I was saying, we have a wonderful situation in which an awesome game has come out that a lot of people have been asking. Oh yeah, by the way, how's the audio volume? Maybe I should wait a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't jump into things. Let me go and address a question right off the bat, actually. Let me do that. So, for those of you not aware, Twitch is now offering name changes. Finally, for the first time. Well, actually, that's not true. Actually, once upon a time, you could do name changes, and then they got rid of the service, and now they're bringing it back. So let's actually be 100% clear about that. So name changes are back, is actually the reality of the situation. Not sure what I think of that, to be honest with you. It is funny to me, because this happens, let's see, about 5 months after I did the big shift over to the Lore Runner. After all that, after all the work and ripping the Band-Aid off and shoving everyone over, I still get people like once every few weeks saying, "Oh, I didn't know you switched." You know, despite everything, I still get that every now and again. Yeah. For those curious, no, I'm not going to go back to the old channel and rename it. And no, I'm not going to try and claim the Lore Runner name. I'm just going to keep the Lore Runner. Just thought I'd give everyone a heads up. But for those of you who care, you can actually frickin' change your username now, so that's nice. Actually, last I checked, Darkrai, you can't. Now, they may have changed it so you can have a space in your name, but when I tried to make the Lore Runner, they didn't let me have a space in the name, so... Regardless. So I just wanted to cover that super quick before we really get anything big. There was one other little thing I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to remember what it was. I have the list of all the bullet points I'm going to talk about, but I can't remember what the other little thing is I was going to talk about. Hang on, let me check something really quick. Actually, I do have a question. Is anybody out there know fashion? I have no idea, Machina. You know, all the YouTubes link here, the website links here, the old channel links here. When I put out a notice on Twitter, it links to this channel. You know, I mean, I literally do not know what else I can do to notify people that this is where I'm streaming. I actively don't know what else I can do to make that happen. So I'm trying to find a black blazer with white highlights, and I'm failing at it. Does anyone know what the term is for that? I actually went to a store, a men's fashion store around here. They didn't have anything. And of course, you know, Target and Walmart don't have anything. And I just don't know what to search for, is the thing. Now, I've found white blazers with black highlights, but I don't know the term. I don't know what to search for. And if you just look for highlights, that doesn't do it. I was hoping someone could help me out in figuring out what terminology I need to be searching for in order to find these damn things. Maybe trim? Is that the word? Is that the word I need? Maybe trim is the word I need. I don't know. Anyways, I just thought I'd ask it. Embroidered? No, we'll try embroidered here. Whoa, that looks terrible. That looks like a butler's outfit. That's not what I'm going for. Yes, we're definitely looking for clothes for Link and not for me. Whatever. I'll look later. I was just curious. Still looking into getting the Imperial symbol buttons made, by the way. So anyways, let's go ahead and act. Now that we've yammered on for a little bit, let's actually hit our news items, shall we? We're just going to go down the list. Let's start with the quote-unquote big one. For those of you not aware, Torment 2, Tides of Numenara, came out last Tuesday or something like that. And I do not own it yet. I do not have any plans to play it or stream it or anything. until the next month, and even then that's kind of a maybe. But it's not because I'm disinterested in it, it's because I have a billion other things to do, and there's, to be as 100% honest as I can, not a lot of demand for a Numenara run as opposed to the other things I'm doing right now. So, as always, this is my job, and I have to follow the whims of the job, blah blah blah. I am still interested in Numenara. It will probably be good. The single biggest complaint I have been hearing so far about it is the combat, which is funny because that's also my single biggest complaint about Pillars of Eternity and Tyranny, is the combat of both games. We'll see how that ends up working out. I will say this, from everything I've seen so far of Numenara, it is suitably... Wow, Frackles. It is suitably Planescape. It is suitably... RPG-y, old-style, isometric, top-down, It looks fun. It looks interesting. I know a little bit about the premise, which I'm not even going to talk about right now. I actually don't know much about the plot. I have successfully avoided spoilers thus far. One thing that I am curious of... So one of the things that a lot of the old... several people have posited is the idea of dialogue bosses. Avalon himself has done a wonderful speech about dialogue bosses in the past, and I kind of like the idea. I've actually used that concept myself when it comes to my D&D stuff. And what Dark Hollow is saying here is what I'm getting to. Apparently a lot of Numenara was designed with the idea of being able to not have to fight, with very, very few exceptions. And you can basically talk or skill or whatever your way through just about any situation rather than having to fight your way through. Now, apparently you can fight your way through if you want to. I don't know exactly how true that is, though. Again, I haven't played it myself. I am looking forward to it, so I just kind of wanted to get this information out there. Yes, I do plan to look at Numenara in the future. Fashion bosses. Now, I will say this, it's been so long since I've played Torment that my memory grows more vague of it every day. Torment's one of those wonderful games that I have trouble going back to thanks to UI and gameplay issues, and so I haven't actually replayed Torment since... Hang on. Give me a moment. I gotta look this one up. I'm actually not sure how long it's been since I've played Torment. It has been, I think, in the decade range. Let me double check that. Nope, yep, I'm right. So that would have been 14 years ago. The last time I played Planescape Torment was 14 years ago. It's been a little while. Anyways, hello History Maker, welcome to my stream. We're doing Loreweek right now. You are, as ever, free to talk, chat, not be a stranger. So I hope you enjoy. I don't know what else to say. Sorry, I'm kind of flustered right now. I had a weird night of pseudo-sleep. I did play a little bit of Zelda off camera, but I'll talk about it in a bit. So anyways, yes, Numenara's out. I automatically recommend it. It's kind of an automatic buy for me. It is a spiritual successor. I'm not even 100% sure if it is set within Planescape, but it almost doesn't matter. I mean, the very nature of Planescape as a setting means you could basically say that just about any game is set in that setting with some reasonability. So anyways, just wanted to comment on that. Took pictures off screen. Actually, yes, I did, Tesla. I took a lot of pictures off screen. And I got some rupees while I was at it. And I did one shrine without you, and just to get the travel point, and I think that's actually it. That's all I did off camera. So, really, Tesla? We might have to go back for Normandia. What's my timestamp? 9 minutes. Let's talk about Hearthstone. I know this is a weird thing to talk about. For those of you not aware, there is a new expansion coming out for Hearthstone, Journey to Un'Goro. No, Zagon. But then again, I haven't finished it yet. Journey to Un'Goro. Now, it's pretty much the normal stuff. You know, it's new cards and new backs and a couple of new mechanics. You know, it's everything you'd expect from a CCG expansion. And I think this might be officially the point at which I stop caring about Hearthstone. And, go ahead and link it to me, Cosmic. I'm kind of curious. I think this is officially the point at which I stopped being interested in Hearthstone, and I hate to say that, but my reason why is very simple. So Hearthstone is a good CCG. It really is. I actually do praise it for being a well-designed, well-presented, brilliantly presented, you know, it's like the model of what I think a CCG should be, and I mean that sincerely. However, it is critically lacking in two crucial areas. One, stretching out and doing new stuff, and two, co-op or single-player stuff. Now, the co-op and single-player stuff, I think I've made my point there. I would rather be able to, you know, co-op with a friend against some other people or against some AIs, or have like a campaign mode. Now, those of you who know Hearthstone know that there actually are campaign modes in Hearthstone, or at least there were. They've stopped doing those. And I can't blame them for that, because they probably undersold compared to just making a new expansion of cards. So, you know, maybe that's how it should be. I don't want Hearthstone to force its developers to cater to me when I'm obviously not the primary market. But the fact that they're not trying to try new modes of play, they're not trying to add custom game modes, or like they have the brawls, right? The brawls are great, but the brawls are random and they're only once a week, and for a brief period of time, not the whole week, just for like 5 days during the week. So the fact that they haven't really been expanding into something other than what is effectively deathmatch, because that's what it boils down to. It's you versus another guy, deathmatch. That disinterests me, and I keep hoping, I kept hoping, I really should use past tense, that each expansion would come out and be like, here's this, you know, thing, and this new gameplay concept, or this new mode of play or something, and they keep not doing it. I think at this point I'm just going to stop following Hearthstone personally, just because it's not interesting to me personally, and I just wanted to talk about that because I'm a horrible human being. Next point, again, we're just kind of go down the list here. Hang on, first I gotta click this link from Cosmic. It's very important that I click this link and see if it's kind of what I'm picturing. That is actually not what I'm picturing, thank God, because I do not have $1,000 frickin' dollars lying around to burn on that. Wow. Thank you for the link, though, Cosmic. Let's talk about Middle-earth: Shadow of War. So for those of you not aware, there is a new Middle-earth: Shadow of War coming out, or a new Shadows of Mordor game coming out. Shadows of Mordor 2, basically. There we go. And it looks like it will probably be interesting. Here's the thing. We actually don't know that much about it right now. We know that it's trying to do its own thing with regards to the continuity. I mean, we already knew that with Shadows of Mordor. They were already kind of doing their own thing with the whole you're kind of immortal because you have an elven spirit inhabiting you, saving your life constantly thing. Now, something happened to Kalimbror, we're not actually even sure what, and now we have a Ring of Power that we made. Now, actually, that's not as contrary to the canon as you'd think, because several elves, including Kalimbror himself, actually were taught ring lore by Sauron, in fact. And ring lore was a whole concept that was spread far and wide, regardless of the Rings of Power. So it's not exactly out of bounds that Kalimbror would be able to actually make a Ring of Power of some sort. Then again, we don't actually know what it does or what its purpose is. The thing is, there was a leak. This is the main thing I want to talk about. First of all, let me go ahead and say that I am excited about this. I haven't done a full playthrough of Shadows of Mordor. It hasn't been requested for anything, and I don't have time to play games that aren't for the show. But I am Tigzar. But you know, it from what I have played and from what I have seen, it is a damned good game, and it does do something very well. So, woo. What? Excuse me. And the differences to the continuity don't bother me at all. Let me just go ahead and say that as bluntly as I can. This is the Jacksonverse, is I believe what it's actually referred to, because all of this stuff has actually been approved by the Tolkien estate in the second continuity, as most people tend to perceive it. Because for most viewers tend to perceive two continuities. There's the Jacksonverse, which is basically the movies and the stuff that has been approved by the Tolkien estate in the last, say, 20 years or so. And then there's the Tolkienverse, which is just the original books and the original notes and basically nothing else. So, not 100% sure how the games contradict, or if they contradict the Jacksonverse at all. Shrug. because, again, I haven't played all the way through Shadows of Mordor. But anyways, so I'm with that. That doesn't bother me. Yeah, what Narlik says is a great example of the difference between the Tolkien verse and the Jackson verse. He is a wizard, not a... I can't remember the name of it. I want to say Ior? No, that's not right. I can't remember the term. Balrogs are one, too. Maiar, thank you. It's not I was trying to say it without the M. Maiar. So yes, Gandalf is not a Maiar. He is a wizard. Thank you. Anyways, so regardless of that, though, Target and a couple other things leaked some information about the whole Shadows of War thing, War of Mordor, and it's like, oh, hang on a second, what? And by all intents and purposes, it appears that they actually rushed the initial trailer just to be like, oh yeah, it's coming out, here you go. Okay, we're good. Because we actually don't have any real information yet. That'll actually be coming on March 8th, which is this Tuesday, I believe? Wednesday, excuse me. On this coming Wednesday, we will actually have the more information, an actual gameplay trailer, and we'll learn a little bit more about how it works. So I actually don't have much to talk about right now. I just wanted to cover it because a lot of people were talking about it, a lot of people were asking about it. Let me just go and say, I am interested, absolutely. I am curious where they're going to go with it. I am also curious if it is actually going to try and slide in with the movies, kind of like how War in the North did, for example. So, we'll see. Hang on just a second. In related news, by which I mean not at all, I'm just going down the list here. For Twitch partners, for those of you not aware, Twitch is owned by Amazon. And this is something that I'm a little surprised has actually taken this long to do. It's, I'm getting ahead of myself. Twitch, for the Twitch partners, they now have the option where when you select a game that you're playing, you have to set up, this is the game that you're playing. Yes, Nezlol, and it's on the website, and it's on my announcement video. When you select a game that you're playing, there will be a new option, like a new button down there. It's like, just click this to buy. And it'll basically just link straight to Amazon, and boom, you have purchased the game. I don't know 100% all the details about that yet, because it doesn't really apply to me, because I'm not a Twitch partner. But I will say a couple of things. First and foremost, I am actually... I'm a little surprised it took them this long to do that. I do think this is kind of inevitable. I mean, it's Amazon, right? What's funny is this basically... The only real purpose in this is to take advantage of impulse buys. Good morning, Bregwin. Because... already we're at like a two-step system to buy a game from Amazon. Like, let's say I'm streaming Shadows of Mordor, okay? Stream. And you're like, man, that game looks awesome. Amazon.com, Shadows of Mordor, click, buy, done, right? It's not a lengthy or difficult process. But in this case, it's like, okay, oh man, that game's look awesome. Scroll down, click, buy. Much more streamlined. And I think that's the point of that, to try and... It's impulse buy. It's the same reason you see candy bars right in front of the registers at places, or little books and whatnot. It's because you look at that and it's like, sure, I'll grab that too. So we'll see how successful it is. Again, it doesn't actually apply to me, like, at all. Sonic, I hope you get a key, by the way. So, either way, I do think it's a cool idea. Legitimately, I do. And I think it's something that, honestly, I'm a little surprised has taken this long. Maybe they were just trying to set up the back end of things. We'll see if that ever applies to me. Twitch, who will never give me a partnership. Ever. Like I said, I'm just racing through these here. Next thing I want to talk about is Stardew Valley. For those of you not aware, Stardew Valley will be on the Switch, which is awesome in its own right. I know at least one person who actually is going to be buying Stardew Valley specifically on the Switch. What I also know is that sometime this year, it's still in the works, there's going to be a multiplayer update. Not an expansion, just an update to Stardew Valley. Yeah, exactly, Panic. I cannot be the only person who's actually excited about the idea of multiplayer Stardew Valley. I can't be the only person excited about that, because that sounds awesome. Co-op Harvest Moon? Done! Now, here's the thing. I actually spent some time trying to look into the details of what the multiplayer will entail. And I have no idea. Like, I couldn't... It's going to be multiplayer, and that's about all I was able to figure out, is that it's going to be multiplayer. I don't know if it's going to be, like, you have a farm and they have a farm, or maybe you can visit someone else's farm, or zone, or whatever, or maybe you can, like, trade stuff, or build, like, a new town area, and there's, like, multiple farms that multiple players can set up in, which would be awesome, by the way. I don't know. But that appeals to me a lot. It's the same reason why I was really hoping for a proper multiplayer for Sims 3. The idea of, for example, me playing with 3 of my friends who also played Sims 3 and us all being within the same town and like, we'll see. Either way, I just thought I'd comment on it. That is in development. ETA soon. They say, summer, but we'll see when exactly that actually comes out. And it'll be on the Switch as well. I also don't know if they're going to do cross-platform availability. There are some back-end issues with cross-platform multiplayer, but I have no idea if they'll be solved or not, so we'll find out. While I'm talking about this, I guess I'll go ahead and mention this is just such a minor thing. There's a new Cities Skyline expansion coming out soon that's going to include mass transit and a huge availability of options with regards to mass transit, which sounds really, really awesome, actually. It's a shame Baronessa probably isn't on right now because I think she's my only viewer who actually cares about Cities Skyline. If you have not played Cities Skyline, let me just say that if you like SimCity games, that is the best SimCity game ever made, and I mean that with sincerity, in my opinion, of course. It's awesome. It's a really, 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 really good SimCity game. And we'll see exactly how they go with it and what they do with it. Looks like fun. I will probably be buying it because it's awesome. Still trying to get the political game to run on that, but we'll see. So, let's talk about Deep Space Nine. Where's the timestamp? 22. Deep Space Nine. I really am racing through these. Let's talk about Deep Space Nine. Yeah, it's City Skyline with full mod support, too, by the way. For those of you not aware, if you haven't played it, if you like SimCity games, City Skyline has full mod support, and there's a lot of awesome mods for the game. And the mod creator tool is actually very intuitive. Let's talk about Deep Space Nine. First of all, for those of you not aware, Deep Space Nine has been the let's go make a making of thing for Deep Space Nine has been wildly successful, which is awesome. It's actually funny. For those of you not aware, I've already decided months ago that I wasn't going to be starting Deep Space Nine and TNG until I was done with Babylon 5. Kind of reduce my workload a little and kind of help keep up and sync up DS9 and TNG, so I'm going through both series at the same time. Thing is, in hindsight, that was a great idea, because now I want this making of thing to be done before I start DS9. There's tons of awesome, and hang on, let me pull up the whole list, because there's tons of awesome info coming through here about this. Here it is, boom. What We Left Behind, that's the name of the campaign here. They're going to be... There's so many stretch goals they've already met, and I'm just going to list these with you guys really quick. So first of all, they're going to include brand new 3D graphics and animation, and it's going to be a 90-plus minute video rather than an hour. They're going to be making a new score with a live orchestra. They're going to have an extended writer's room feature where they just talk with all the writers about the situation. They're going to do a roundtable interview with all the DS9 crew members and with fans. There's a Garak t-shirt, which is actually... It's a really good t-shirt. Let me see if I can just toss this at you really quick, because this is a cool t-shirt. I want to show you this, guys. For anybody who's a fan of Garak as a character, you might find this amusing and enjoyable. Where is it? There it is. So, here's the Garak t-shirt. If you can't read all those, liar, antagonist, soldier, agent, civilian, simple, traitor, deceiver, fighter, villain, assassin, hero, pretender, rival, outcast, imposter, foe, cheat, spy, interrogator, Cardassian, fabricator, gardener, enigma, friend, adversary, tailor, victim, fraud, enemy, asset, rival, hero, operative, lover. It's a nice summary of Garak's character right here, and kind of gets across why I like Deep Space Nine, because you can't really summarize most of the characters on Deep Space Nine. So that's awesome. They also put out a video, which I forget to grab this morning. Hang on. I gotta find it now. Hang on. There's a couple of other shirts they're tossing out as well, but that's the really good one. This is really cheesy and really stupid, but I feel like sharing. If you don't like Deep Space Nine, feel free to mute me for the next, like, 3 minutes or so. Because this is just cheesy and silly and stupid. Just a moment. It's going to take me a second. I got to pull it up on YouTube, and I got to grab it. Don't worry. I got this. Put it there. Now, what I am sad to admit is it actually took me a moment to recognize this person. Hang on. So, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this, and let's move it to the front.
Hey, there you are.
I'm sorry I'm late.
I'm sorry, for those of you who aren't fans or who don't recognize him, that's Ira Stephen Bear on the left. Widely considered to be the single biggest point of creative input for the franchise. I have some things to say about him, but I'll save that for when I go through DS9. But I just wanted to identify him for you guys.
I think I was followed.
Seriously?
If I was, I shook him.
Okay. Good, I guess. So, did you bring your DS9 Indiegogo contribution?
Unmarked bills, just like you asked.
I didn't ask for unmarked bills.
You should have.
This is great. Thanks.
Right. And remember, no names. If Patrick finds out about this, you know, when he finds out that I made a contribution to a Deep Space Nine documentary, the repercussions could be catastrophic.
You think so?
Well, back in the day, I used to say that Deep Space Nine was ahead of its time, that it was 20 years before the audience would fully appreciate its accomplishments.
Actually, I think I said that.
It was you. Well, I knew I heard it somewhere.
Look, thanks again for this really generous contribution to our film.
Well, when it comes to generosity, I'm number one.
Seriously?
No. Well, you could say that I'm number one in generosity.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thanks, number one.
No, don't say it like that, because then they'll know who I am.
They know.
Seriously?
They know.
You have cameras here? Seriously?
Ira! Patrick is gonna be so pissed!
Like I said, very cheesy. It made me laugh. I'll admit it. So. Anyways, lots and lots of hoip for that. The next stretch goal, by the way, sorry, I was just looking at this and I just closed it because I'm so stupid today. The next stretch goal is one that is actually the one I want to be reached the most, ironically. And I don't think they're going to, because isn't it over? Nope, they have 6 days left to make 24,000 additional dollars. This is the final stretch goal. Remaster select show clips in high definition and work with Doug Drexler. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the original workers, and you know what, never mind. Doesn't matter. Work with Doug Drexler and to render additional CGI models in high definition. In other words, basically taking certain clips from the show, famous clips from the show, and basically producing them as if they were on Blu-ray. The reason I'm most hopeful for that isn't just the fact that I would like, you know, the Blu-ray's clips. It's the fact that I'm hoping it will demonstrate some of the interest and some of the financial feasibility of DS9 being produced in Blu-ray. Fingers crossed. I mean, the odds are extremely low, let's be honest with ourselves. But, I mean, if they make it, maybe there will be enough interest that maybe CBS will be willing to go ahead and put the time and money into actually doing Blu-rays of Deep Space Nine, which would be kind of awesome, if I'm just being completely honest with you. So, yeah, if you haven't seen, Doug Drexler is really, he's done some amazing stuff. I'm trying to think of the most iconic thing he's done. Yes, this is all above board, Lord of Mordor, which is nice. I would say probably the single most iconic thing he's put forth is probably the Defiant. Maybe the NX? I don't know. I would say it's probably the Defiant. I don't know. What do you guys think? He's done a lot of stuff. I mean, if you've seen any Star Trek, you've seen Doug Drexler's work at some point or another. Yeah, exactly, Tesla. Fun fact, I have, obviously, the DVDs of Voyager. On my monitor, like, here's my monitor, right? When I put them into 100% size, they're this big. This is not a joke. Same with Babylon 5, actually. I've actually seen that longsword. It's good stuff. All right, enough about Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is awesome. Moving on. Let's talk about Overwatch. So, for those of you not aware, actually, we're just talking about Blizzard in general. Let's talk about Blizzard in general. For those of you not aware, there has been a awakening of the Force. And, whoops, it's still ahead of me. Let's push this back to the background there. There we go. There's a new Overwatch hero who is out on the PTR right now. It's a good show, Kelty. I don't know how to answer that. It's a science fiction. It's a Star Trek show. So Orisa has come out on Overwatch, and from everything I've seen so far, it looks like a character I would love to play as. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. So whenever we get back to doing Blizzard Sundays, I'm really looking forward to trying her out. If I'm not mistaken, she's actually not out live right now. I can actually check that really quickly. It doesn't take me long, but I'm pretty sure she's still just on the PTR. Her backstory is interesting in its own right, too. And I'm not going to go too much into that. I don't really have a lot to talk about here, to be 100% blunt, other than something... Oh, excuse me. Something that I've also kind of mentioned when it comes to Hearthstone. I should have just lumped the Hearthstone in with it, because I have a brief thing to talk about. Here's the Storm as well. I don't really... Like, Overwatch is fun. I love playing Overwatch with you guys. But it's still basically just team deathmatch, you know? Now, the new customization mode is nice. It's nice for the fact that we can actually play, you know, like one shot, one kill, or everyone has tons of health. You know, that's nice. That's a nice step forward. I still want more. I want you to give us more game modes, more game plays, more game mechanics that we can customize. It's great as is. I just want more of what is already great, you know? And yeah, as I've just... checked her. She's not actually live yet, as is expected. The other thing I wanted to talk about really quick is a guy named Probius, and hopefully I can actually pull this. No, I'm not able to get a Probius. So for those of you not aware, come on, let me... Here we go, hang on. This is being really aggravating, forgive me. I think, admittedly, and I know this sounds negative, but probably part of the reason why I'm having so much fun... Oh, I have it right here. Duh. Well, probably part of the reason why I'm having so much fun when it comes to Overwatch is the fact that I only play it like once every few weeks. With you guys, with friends, with people I actually know and care about. If I was playing it all the time, I'd probably be long since burnt out on it. So I'm really, really hoping, I really am, that at some point we get more with that. But anyways, I'm just going to show off a couple of things here really quick. Because I feel like it, and if that's a problem, then tough.
The world is a scary place. Even here, in Numbani, we needed something to protect us. Enter the OR-15 defense bots. They took the old Adina model from the Crisis and gave them a complete makeover. They kept us safe. For a while. I was at the airport when Doomfist attacked. Poor bots didn't stand a chance. Everyone else gave up on you, but I saw what you could be. So I rebuilt you, upgraded your programming, and gave you a heart.
New personality module installed. System rebooting. OR15 online.
No, that's no good. Every great hero needs a real name. What about Orisa? I made you to be strong and brave. You still have a lot to learn. And you'll probably mess up sometimes. But I know you'll become the hero we need.
My name is Orisa. I will keep you safe. That is my primary function.
So, really hyped about playing as her. And hopefully we'll get a new thing in the future. Explaining her backstory, or not explaining her backstory, but, you know, a new CGI mode. By the way, let's not argue about whether or not Overwatch is repetitive, okay? Let's chill. Let's just calm it down. I'm gonna go, oh my god, I completely forgot. That's what I was gonna start this stream with. Okay, I'll get to that. I don't need to make a note. What I meant, I want to clarify my statement because I wasn't clear last week about something, which I'm going to correct in a bit. And I want to be clear about this, okay? What I mean is Overwatch is fun, but it is team deathmatch. You know, capture the flag or push the point, and that's basically it. What I want is something new. What I want is something interesting. I'm not saying the game is boring. I'm not saying the game is repetitive. I'm just saying I want more. I'm saying that I look at this and I'm like, okay, so we've got all these different gameplay styles, and speaking as someone who has played as every guy at this point and has discovered how good he is at characters he didn't think he would be, you know, there is a lot of difference in terms of the actual play style when you switch from character to character. But it's always still going to be team deathmatch, capture the point, or push the payload, right? That's what I mean by I want more. The custom options thing, was it, you know, the custom layout thing, that was a nice step in the right direction. I've actually already talked about that. The idea of like the Reinhardt zombie mode, where Reinhardts have 1 trillion health but are slow, so they're like, and they just kind of slowly advance on the other party, you know, or everyone has 1 HP, or, you know, Predator mode, all those things. You know, that's cool. I want more. I want more. I mean, we've seen Heroes of the Storm has proven that Blizzard knows what I'm talking about, because each new map is more with new gameplay functionality in terms of the match. I mean, yes, we're still going after the core, but we've seen new maps which change up basically the game in addition to new heroes, and that's kind of what I want. I want more. Anyways, let's talk about Heroes of the Storm while we're on the subject, because I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of fun with Heroes of the Storm. I'm almost sad we're not playing it today. Where is it? There it is. So, that's awesome. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry. A lot of people have been like, oh my god, this is the dumbest thing in the world that we get a frickin' probe as our next character. But the fact that we have completely differing gameplay style, and which will completely vary up how Heroes of the Storm works, is exactly what I was just talking about with regards to them varying up Heroes of the Storm and making it more interesting than just, here's a map, here's 3 lanes, go. And that's why I like Heroes of the Storm more than any other MOBA out there right now. My opinion, of course. Because of stuff like that. I gotta be honest, though, the maps are the big thing. Who, Pyro? Yeah, it probably will, Corwin. I hope not, Takoida, because I'm probably going to buy Probius day 1. When's he come out? Anyways, I don't know who or what that is, Tesla. Tell me this, Tesla. Does League of Legends have more than just 3 lanes and go at it? Real question. Because when I played, it didn't. It was 3 lanes, go. And that was it. What game are you playing, Gary? Oh, Gazlo. Gazlo doesn't count. Gazlo is not a turret character. Gazlo is a timing character. Because even the turrets require good timing in order to utilize properly. Also, Gazlo was considered very low tier for a while. But anyways. Oh, FF14. Got it. That's... wow. So anyways, Here's the Storm is awesome. Overwatch is still enjoyable. I just wish they'd do more of what Heroes of the Storm is doing. Moving on. Looks like... ah, right, okay, so now time for the redaction. Really quick, guys. So, I have a redaction to post, as any good news person should. I actually meant to do this at the very beginning of the video. I just kind of forgot. Sorry. So, last week I showcased a terrible, terrible mobile game called Hit, I think. Actually, I can't remember what it stands for. And I also talked about Bethesda seeming to go more into mobile gaming. Now, I was so upset at the time that I didn't explain myself fully, and I've actually already responded to this on my YouTube, and I've already responded to this on my Tumblr, but I want to make a nice big open video commentary reaction to this. And that is the fact that I wasn't being clear about my information last time, and so I want to make this 100% clear. What a lot of people presumed is that I was presenting the information that Bethesda was now going to start making terrible mobile games, just like Hit, right? Now, that is my fault, and I will take the blame on myself, but that is not what I meant, and that is not what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is that I have seen many different companies over the years say, oh man, we made this mobile game and it was actually really popular. We're going to do more of that. And then beginning this slow descent into ignoring other gaming production, focusing on mobile game production, and leading to games like Hit. And so this is not the first time I've seen a company make that kind of a statement, and it wouldn't surprise me if Bethesda eventually becomes as bad as that. Honestly, I should have probably used EA as a better example of a company that was like, oh, hey, this mobile game was popular, and then slowly descended into just terribleness with regards to the mobile market. I've actually talked many times about terrible EA mobile games. Then I was making a separate point, and this is again my fault, so I apologize about this. I was making a separate point about the fact that I was demonstrating why I was so pissed off about mobile games, and I showed you the worst mobile game I had installed at the time as a demonstration of why I absolutely despise certain aspects of mobile gaming. And that was an unconnected point, basically. So, Redaction stated, if I'm still being unclear, then I frickin' give up. Let's talk about Mass Effect. Who here wants to talk about Mass Effect? I'm assuming at least someone here would like to talk about Mass Effect, because I still get Mass Effect questions to this day. So, as we are continuing to approach Andromeda, Let me go ahead and share something really quick. Quick point here. Right now, I have it scheduled to replay Mass Effect 1 prior to Mass Effect Andromeda, and I want to make this clear. That was scheduled before I found out about the 9 years problem and the fact that Mass Effect 2 actually happens before they leave for Andromeda. So to make this 100% clear, here's the timeline. Mass Effect 1 happens, Mass Effect 2 happens, and then, because of the vagueness of the timeline, 1 to 3 months before Mass Effect 3 starts, they leave. They leave the Milky Way galaxy, and they head off to the Andromeda galaxy. Which means, theoretically, that Mass Effect 2 matters. I don't have time to do that. In fact, the big news point I wanted to say is that I may be skipping Mass Effect 1's replay as well. I may not have time. Zelda is more important to me than replaying Mass Effect 1, ergo Mass Effect 1 can be shoved off the list if it has to be in order to make accommodation for more Zelda. So I wanted to share that point to make that fundamentally clear for anybody. I know we have Mass Effect 1 scheduled, but again, I do not have time, period, to replay Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2, which is what I technically should be doing. And there's also some thoughts about doing some Mass Effect 3 multiplayer as a lead-up, so what is more likely to happen is the day Andromeda comes out, I'll go ahead and play some Mass Effect 1, I've already got it installed and everything, and wait until Andromeda goes live, because Andromeda probably isn't going to go live until like noon my time, because EA's release times are just ridiculous. And then once it goes live, then I'll go ahead and play Andromeda. So that's probably what's going to happen with regards to the Mass Effect 1 replay. Now, no, Dark Hollow, I have never been a fan of the franchise, so I have zero interest whatsoever in Nier Automata. Now, before I go into anything else with regards to this, I have an exploration trailer to show you, which, as ever, as we approach Andromeda, we're going to talk about and discuss and sort of pseudo-hype, whatever. Now, before we start this, actually, I want to cover something really quick. I don't know yet, Tesla. I haven't decided. I want to cover something really quick. And that is the fact that everything about Andromeda so far is pretty much... I'm not clicking that, Roximus. Everything Andromeda-wise is reminding me of what's going on with Zelda right now, a.k.a. the gameplay of Andromeda looks good. I'm actually interested in it. It looks fun. It looks like it will be a lot of fun to play. Cool. I'm so far not what you'd call super interested or invested in the story. In fact, if I'm being 100% honest, I have actually zero investment or interest in the story of Andromeda as of right now. Take that or leave it as you wish. I don't have anything else to share about it. That being said, let's go ahead and watch another gameplay video, because everything they've been releasing about this has been sheer gameplay. So, without further ado, gameplay!
Welcome back to the Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay series. In our first installments, we took a closer look at combat gameplay. Today, we're diving straight into the heart of Mass Effect Andromeda, exploration. In addition to beautiful story missions, Andromeda is filled with worlds to explore.
No way this is home.
Our story is contained within the Helios cluster, a portion of space populated with dozens of star systems. And the Tempest is where that exploration begins. You can navigate star systems using the Tempest galaxy map.
Oops, forgot to unmute the mic. First thing I want to talk about, super quick here. As you can see here, this is the closest thing we've seen to a complete map thus far. Now, as he'll talk about in just a second, we have a few hundred areas to actually hit, but and I quote, a handful of areas we can actually land on and explore. We can kind of see the difference here. We actually see a couple of areas that have, again, the Mass Effect 2 kind of thing, where it shows, like, here's this point of interest, or here's this quest under this planet, and also the percentage things. If I was to assume that this is the actual complete map, We have 5 planets present here that we can land on and go through. That's pure speculation. I don't actually know if that's true or not. I just thought I'd share.
From planets to moons, to anomalies and starships, wherever you are in Helios, you'll now be able to see everything that exists outside the ship's main windows in real time. In Andromeda, there are over 100 planets to discover, and a handful of beautifully crafted worlds can be landed on.
Yeah.
And that's where the adventure really begins. Each world you visit has its own story, its own characters, and of course, its own challenges.
I'd just like to say that that looks like a really cool boss fight.
Today, the world we're going to visit is called Eladin.
Actually, let me pause really quick. A lot of people seem to assume that I'm automatically negative towards this game. Let me correct that assumption, because you are wrong. And I don't actually like the fact that people just kind of keep assuming that I am negative towards this game. I do admittedly, fully admittedly, have some negative bias because I didn't like Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 was a net negative for me, especially after replaying it, okay? That's true, but I do not automatically hate Andromeda. Okay, everything I mention is not intended to be like a stab at Andromeda. So please stop putting those words into my mouth. I'm kind of tired of it. Now, to respond to a couple things I just saw in chat, I agree that I would rather have a few small areas that are well crafted than a bunch of areas that are not. If I can use a quick parallel, in Mass Effect 1 there were lots of planets you could land on. But with the exception of the main story ones, they were basically just, you know, geo-mapped terrain with a couple of interesting points to walk into, and that's it. And that's all. So I would rather have fully fleshed out, fully crafted worlds where there's a couple of them, as opposed to the Mass Effect 1 situation where there was... I mean, I loved wandering around in the Mako, don't mistake me, but it did get a little bit boring wandering through massive areas of basically emptiness, you know? Second thing I wanted to comment on, though, I agree with the fact, I think it was Darkrai who said this, I agree with the fact that they shouldn't tease too much story stuff right out the bat. The problem is the premise does not interest me. And in my opinion, when it comes to marketing, you should do one of two things. You should either say nothing at all and just let people determine it, or you should give them a strong hook. Anybody who's seen my Voyager or my Babylon 5 videos know I talk extensively about the purpose of a teaser in an episode of a television. And the whole purpose is for people who are just flipping through, or for people who are not fans of the show, or people who are fans of the show to be hooked into watching the rest of the episode. That's the premise, right? And there's a lot of ways to do that, and I've discussed that extensively over there. I'm not going to rehash my material. The premise of Andromeda does not interest me overall, story-wise. It interests me gameplay-wise. Now, to explain what I mean by that, I just realized I'm gesturing, I'm not even on camera. To explain what I mean by that, I like the idea of here's a new area, and as they'll discuss in this video, you know, we will be building up and doing quests and making places more habitable, recruiting people, which lets us unlock more people, which lets us give more access to greater military units or greater science things, and there's basically going to be this huge base building mechanic that is extended across, like, the entire sector and all that fun stuff, and all of that sounds awesome. It really does. But that's all gameplay. Story-wise, I look at Andromeda and I think, well, there's potential for a lot of little new stories, and we'll see what they do with it. And that's it. The premise, story-wise, has not hooked me. The premise, gameplay-wise, absolutely has. Does this make sense? This is why I keep talking about the fact that they keep emphasizing gameplay, which they are, there's no denying that, and the fact that the premise is basically just new galaxy. Also, Archon! Sorry. That was me taking a jab. I'll admit that one. That would be awesome, Bradley, if they pull that off. I really would like that. In fact, I've talked about that before. If there is no main villain, if there is no main plot, if it's just here's the Civil War and here's the storyline, you know. And that's kind of my point, Progue. I just realized people aren't noticing the chat because chat is covered by the video. Progue just said, I don't think they've even told us the real premise storyline. And I agree, which is kind of my point. We've gone to a new galaxy isn't really a premise. It's a blank sheet of paper. I want you to write down something on the paper to get me interested in the story, which they haven't, and at this point, they probably won't. Now let's get back to this exploration stuff, because I gotta be honest, this is the first video that's really made me excited to play this game, and I mean that sincerely.
Exploring the opening landing area called Paradise, you'll quickly discover that the heat on this planet can be deadly. Water is scarce, and mysterious ancient artifacts dot the landscape guarded by dangerous remnant creatures. Basically, to live here, you have to be desperate. Or Krogan. But even the Krogan aren't happy, and they don't trust anyone from the initiative, least of all a Pathfinder. How you deal with the Krogan and these challenges will ultimately determine your success on Eladin.
We need the Krogan, and the Krogan need us.
Exactly, Bragwin.
Before you set out, you'll get an update from your AI, pointing out key locations.
The Remnant monolith suggests this was indeed supposed to be a golden world.
We're going to start the adventure by heading over to the Krogan colony, but the choice of where to go is ultimately yours.
Let me just go and say I'm really excited to drive this thing around. I'm just going to summarize, because this thing is going to be awesome. Here, just watch.
Our all-terrain rover, the Nomad,
Pyro.
is key to quickly covering the expansive landscapes throughout Andromeda.
Okay, so I hate to do this, but I did this myself, and I'm going to do this for you guys. So here's the upgrades we can see. Now I stress that because if you'll notice, you can actually scroll down further from here. But you gain the ability to automatically detect enemies and obstacles with a range of up to 75 meters.
You can also enhance the Nomad with a series of functional upgrades.
You also gain the ability to project a Mass Effect field around the Nomad to shield you while you're exiting. So in other words, as you're popping out the Nomad, you have a temporary am invulnerable button. Also, you notice it takes resources. I like the fact that it shows the resources twice. I also like that it's optional. You notice in the very middle there's a button there that says View Required Materials. So you can see it on the right there, graphite, lithium, and platinum, and you can see it in the middle, nice and obvious. Symbols and icons right there. That's actually good UI design, in my opinion. And I do like the presentation of how they're using that. And that's probably going to be the whole scanning planets thing again. So,
Designed to give...
yeah, we have that one. This one allows us to switch between different modes. This one I'm not sure what to make of. It looks like reduced traction for increased agility, but I don't actually know what agility means in context. I'm assuming this is a go fast in a straight line mode. Not sure, though.
You better turbo boost.
This, of course, just increases the hull of I almost called it the ship. The hull of the Nomad.
Higher jumps.
Better, so this is actually a cool one. When your shield runs out, it explodes, damaging everything nearby.
Better handling.
Improved boost. This makes it so you have a longer boost, which is the dash in both drive modes.
And more.
And there was another one there that was improved shield regeneration, and again, it keeps going down from there. So there's plenty of upgrades you can get for the Nomad, which is cool. What we're about to see is probably one of my favorite things they're doing. I'll let him talk about it, and then I'll talk about it.
While you're exploring, one of the key objectives will be to discover locations to call down forward stations. Once found, each of these will act as a fast travel point and allow you to change your loadout or call the Nomad if it gets lost or destroyed. They also offer resupply and protection from any environmental hazards.
So, that's awesome. I like the fact that we can call down these things and have travel points and have resupply and have safe havens. What I don't know, and he doesn't discuss, is if we can do that anywhere, like if we just have a set number we can put down on a planet, or if there's specific spots we have to reach. I would say it's more likely that we can put them down at specific spots, basically making them like the shrines in Zelda, or the camps in Dragon Age exactly. But that's a cool mechanic. I like that a lot. I really do. Deployable fast travel. I really hope we can put it anywhere, because that opens so much player option and so much that the player can then do to... In fact, it would be even better if it costs resources, because at that point, there's no hard cap on how many you could put down, just how much time you spent gathering resources. So, I'm actually hyped about that. I'm going to answer a question Panic asked really quick. Panic just said, what do I think is more likely? That they're confident in the story and they're hiding it so as not to spoil, or they're hiding it because they know it's not up to snuff? 100% honesty, it's probably the latter. They probably are not up to snuff with regards to the story, and they're probably hiding it and focusing on everything else to distract you from the lack of or the threadbare story. I hate to say that, but that's just the cynic in me with many years of experience with games in general. It's not an anti-BioWare thing, and it's not an anti-EA thing. It's just that's the most likely option. Okay.
Our conversations at the Krogan colony point us in a few directions. Exiles are causing trouble at their base, the Flophouse. And a derelict remnant ship may have a drive core the Krogan are in desperate need of. Let's head to that ship and see what we can find.
Trust me, I do too, Probe.
Out here, we are more exposed to the heat. In Andromeda, all of the planets have localized and/or global hazards. The Pathfinder and the Nomad are both separately outfitted with life support systems that help protect against these hazards. But once you run out, you'll need to find a safe location or a forward station to recharge.
I'm reading a normal temperature range, Pathfinder.
As you travel throughout the world, you'll find new areas to explore, new characters, and new storylines.
So, cool. Cool. I hope I'm wrong too, by the way, Prog, I really do. I'm paused this here for a moment. So, this is interesting because it looks like we can mine on planets we can land on. Because you'll notice it actually... see, I'm not actually sure how this works. This is all speculation. He doesn't really cover this. I don't know if we're going to be scanning from orbit like we did in Mass Effect 2. I don't know if we're going to be able to land and gather stuff like in Mass Effect 1. If you're asking me my opinion right now, I'd say both. I'd say it is likely that we have both as an option for getting materials. Because you notice right here, this desert planet, we have the available minerals up there in the upper left, and the things that are lowering its viability level on the left, which he'll discuss in just a moment. I will say I do like the fact that they have still bothered to do things like all the little lore of planets and how they function in the upper right, just like the Mass Effect series has always done. Thumbs up there.
Ultimately, all of these discoveries will help raise the viability of the planet. Increasing planet viability does two things. Allow for the creation of an outpost, and upgrade the Nexus, the Andromeda Initiative's space station. Before a planet can support an outpost, you'll first need to get its viability to at least 40% by pacifying threats, allying yourself to locals, solving environmental problems, and accomplishing specific tasks related to that planet's story.
So, just to cover, combat, social, exploration all increase, planet viability. Let me go ahead and say that's a big positive for me. The variety of it, and the variety of different things you can do. I hope it doesn't become a chore, but given the fact that we've only seen 5 planets we can do this on, I kind of doubt it will be. So, this sounds kind of cool.
For example, in the case of Eladin, your relationship with the Krogan will determine whether you can build here or not. Regardless of whether you build an outpost, your exploration and discoveries will also give you Andromeda viability points.
By the way, called it.
Reaching thresholds will allow you to upgrade the Nexus and wake up more colonists from cryosleep. Who you decide to wake up will determine what perks and advantages you'll get. Will you wake up scientists to give you an edge in research and development? Military personnel to give you an edge in combat? Or merchants to give you a leg up when trading?
And I'm going to pause it here because he's just going to zoom by this. But you notice, if we unlock merchants, these are the perks we can gain from unlocking merchants. Gameplay-wise, basically who we unlock from the pods effectively function as talent points. But I'm okay with that because that's the base building mechanic I just talked about. The idea that we can improve these aspects of our base with regards to how we unlock things and how we develop the planets around us. Again, that whole exploration base building thing, which is awesome. And again, I'm actually really hyped about this. And the only one he actually really showcases well right here is this one right here. If we do financial infrastructure, we get credits from investments at regular intervals. And it says right there, it's a time-based reward. So, woo! Forgive me for actually sounding excited, but this actually does seem pretty cool.
But of course, not everything on these worlds will be so straightforward. Andromeda holds many mysteries, not the least of which is a vast network of ancient vaults.
Now, forgive my cynicism for walking right back into the front line, but this is the least interesting aspect of this video to me.
Simply figuring out how to access one of these vaults is a challenge in and of itself that can take you across an entire world. Once inside, you'll need to rely on skills from every element of Andromeda gameplay, including exploration, environmental navigation, puzzle solving, and combat to get them back online, and then make it out alive. Go! And resolving the mystery of these vaults may just hold the key to survival in Andromeda.
This is unbelievable.
At its heart, Mass Effect Andromeda is a game of discovery and exploration. The choices you make and the places you go let you blaze your own unique trail through Andromeda. Whether you're exploring the depths of a crashed starship or delving into the core of an active volcano, the more you engage with the world around you and the characters in it, the more that world will surprise you with what's waiting just around the corner.
It's really going to be something, isn't it?
Archon. Oh, sorry. He was who was what right around the corner. It was Archon. Sorry, guys. So, anywho, that's that. Several people have correctly and cynically pointed out that this is just the Dragon Age Inquisition mechanics. That's actually not 100% true, by the way. Let's discuss that, because that does deserve discussion. First of all, at first when I saw the Inquisition mechanics, I was like, sweet! Then I realized that they weren't what I thought they were, because there is no real base building in Inquisition. And that was a problem. There's send people out on missions, you know, the map thing, and there was recruit people to your base, but there was no actual real base building, unlock perks kind of a thing, unless it's in the expansions that I haven't played, so I'll go ahead and add that there. Excuse me, the DLCs I haven't played. So, this looks like they took the base ideas that were being put into Inquisition and actually followed through on them. Again, it's the very same reason why I was initially excited about Inquisition's base building mechanics and then disappointed when they turned out to not actually be base building mechanics. Just wanted to address that really quick. Who knows, Mikal? Like, honestly, it's pure speculation at this point. They did, of course, no Steam tiers. It will be on Origin, and only on Origin. So anyways, yeah, that's Andromeda. That's the last thing I have to talk about today. Approaching Andromeda. Get Hoip or don't. It's your choice. I've already bought it. Yeah, I'm kind of committed at this point. We'll see what exactly they do with it in the future. I don't even know if they're doing another video this week, but if they are, I will probably cover it next week as usual. For now, it is after 11, which is fantastic, because now I can go get food. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. Actually, let me chop it off for the local recording. So, for those of you watching at home,